The teenage art prodigy whose gift has become a $1 million business. The real Rain Man with the biggest factual recall in the world. The child scientist who passed O-level chemistry aged 7. The unemployed accountant with the record-breaking memory. And the 10-year-old music prodigy ready to hit the international stage. 5 people, 5 extraordinary talents, 5 very different lives.
Me and God are both in control of everything.
I am absolutely, completely flat broke at the moment.
I don't like the meaning of child prodigy. That's a very fun thing.
You don't have to be handicapped to be different. Everybody's different.
Welcome to the world of genius. To some, genius is an arbitrary label. The strict definition is an outstanding artistic or intellectual ability. In short, extreme talent. 13-year-old Akiana Kromeric fits the bill perfectly, and she has a unique claim behind her gift.
The earliest memory I can recall is probably when I was around 4 years old. One day I started having these very amazing and mysterious visions. This voice was following me, guiding me through these galaxies, and I asked him, who are you? And I started calling him God.
Akiana is an art prodigy from Idaho who claims that God told her to paint. And for 9 years, she hasn't stopped.
I like to say me and God are both in control of everything. So he tells me an idea and I could just take that idea and make it better and polish it better and just put it into paints. So he's like my personal teacher, my tutor.
She was 4 years old when I knew there was something special about her because she was describing a lot of new things on spiritual matters, and also she started drawing exceptionally well.
Akiana developed an intense interest in sketching. By 5 years old, she was already drawing at a level way beyond her years.
Myself, I thought she was dreaming. I thought there was something made out of an imagination. But when she started describing it more and more, it became apparent that this was actually something that did happen.
By 8, Akiana was painting portraits on giant canvases.
It kind of took me aback because we never read the Bible, or we didn't have any kind of spiritual connection.
With no artists in her family, she was completely self-taught.
This is actually one of my absolutely favorite and most memorable paintings. This is called The Prince of Peace. I painted this when I was 8 years old with oils. Many artists all around the world, they always ask me, so how did you do this and how did you do that? I was like, I don't know, I just did it. It's very complicated for a child to explain what they did. The only way they can explain is through painting or through their creativity.
Described by art critics as a phenomenal talent, she has now produced more than 100 paintings, ranging from realist portraits to fantastic landscapes and the natural world. They can each take anywhere from 15 to 300 hours to complete. Akiana's genius could be explained by sheer hard work. Homeschooled, she gets up at 4 a.m. 6 days a week and paints for up to 5 hours a day.
Just really quickly, I want to see the looks.
Sometimes there are days, sometimes when she's finishing up a painting, she might paint for 12, 14 hours. And I would ask her to take breaks and have something to eat or drink, and sometimes she would refuse.
Akiana only studies the subjects she enjoys.
She loves printing, publishing her books and poetry and art, and that's what she loves doing and let her do all day long. I don't ask her to ever do math. If critics say, no wonder she's a genius because she's devoting all her time for art, then it would be a better place in the world, that there would be more people who are interested in focusing their energy to the fields that they are interested in.
you know, your parents, you said that you weren't raised in a Christian home, is that correct? So you didn't know about Jesus, did you?
No, it was literally, I was raised in an environment where it was more just like it was nature, free spirited. It was nothing, no religiousness in it. There was no divine power. But yes, we believed in love, and we believed in, you know, friendship and family. But it was only after many years later where I myself started to question my parents about, you know, this divine power, this spiritual power that I was feeling, that I was experiencing, you know. And they started, you know, being very curious about, you know, their 4-year-old, 5-year-old going through these spiritual experiences. And from that point on, I think me and my family started bouncing off ideas about, you know, God and Jesus. And after a while, I just kind of surrendered myself to this idea of God is an extraordinary, supernatural, amazing love of peace, and has everything in it, and is a ball. The closest I could think of, explain it's a ball of light, because I literally experienced meeting God, and through my experience, I firmly believe that I belong to God. But even though I don't belong to any other dominations, I want to go to my true feelings, my true experience that I experienced. So that
Was that the experience? Was that the experience whenever you when you were 8 or 6, I'm sorry, or was that a different experience?
At 6 years old, I had an experience where my physical body disappeared. And my parents and the family, and there was my whole neighbors, and the police were all looking for me, and it was this huge thing that happened. And in that meantime, myself felt, the closest thing I could explain is I was like pixelated into millions of pieces, going into and experiencing millions of life, and I would oversee everybody as if I'm literally floating above the earth, and I would see what everybody's doing at the same time. And it was this extraordinary experience. At the same time, there was this ball of light that was guiding me, and it was this amazing God feeling to it. I don't know how to explain it else, but it literally felt like thousands of years that I've lived in this particular time field, because I was going, experiencing different things as different dimensions, and I came down on Earth, and I was walking through my house, and the police were still there, and my mom was crying, and it was just an emotional experience where they could not find me, and I was literally gone. And my mom came rushing up to me, and she said, "Where were you?" And I explained, "Mom, I'm tired, but you needed to experience this." She says, "Why? What's going on? I don't understand." I was with God. And I'm so tired I have so much to do in my life. I have this goal I need to complete, this mission. Like, for example, you know, orange represent trust, yellow represents, you know, listening and energy, and you know, black represents suffering and troubles, and you know, red represents love, and there's so much colors, so many colors. And
okay, when you went and saw a vision, you saw colors that do not exist on Earth?
Yes, that's true.
How do you, can you describe it? Is there any way to put that into, have you ever tried?
I try with one painting, it's called The Supreme Sanctuary. It was so difficult for me, but I was very happy that God gave me the energy and the ideas to paint it. But, you know, it's very hard to paint heaven, and through the things that I saw was heavens, galaxies, and universes. It's undescribable. I can't describe it, I can't paint it.
What if someone came up to you and said, I don't believe that there's a God?
I think I should tell them that even if they don't believe there is a God, I think through talents, through gifts, I think people could actually understand that there's someone else, someone bigger than that gave them that gift, not themselves.